Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Dream Team chat. Wow. Okay, you'd think by now I'd get it down. So glad you guys are all here. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you for spending your Tuesday with us. We are so excited, like Alex already said earlier, we are so excited to chat with y'all about this topic specifically because it's something that I feel like we all have to deal with, and it's a key factor in success in our business, and I believe it is a key factor for anybody in their business. And that is something that we talk about all the time. If you have been here for a month, if you've been here for a couple of years, you know what we talk about all the time is consistency. I'm gonna take off my glasses because it's really annoying. Okay, consistency. Consistency is key in your business. 100% across the board, whatever you are doing. But tonight, and all that matters and all that's so important. But tonight we are going to be focusing on two areas where we want to encourage you guys to be consistent and kind of give you guys some encouragement and some how to stay consistent in those areas. But we want to umbrella this with saying that when we're talking about consistency tonight and everything thereafter, what we are referring to is consistency when it's slow, when your business is slow, when it feels like you're in a slowdown and the orders just aren't popping like they were, especially if you were here last year and in the fall, like it's just crazy booming. And like we have said in the past, spring and summer typically, last year was not typical, 2020 was not typical, but typically spring and summer tends to be just a little bit slower. Now, that's not to say that you can't have really booming months, that you can't be paid a title, that the orders can't just be rolling in, because you determine your own success at the end of the day. However, there is something to be said for just things tending to be a little bit slower feel. And so it's a really great time to do other things in your business, but don't fall off the main track, which is staying front and center with your customers. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on tonight is how do we stay consistent on social media, and how do we stay consistent in our follow-ups with our customers. And so we're gonna hone in on those two areas tonight to try to give you guys a better idea of how we do that, specifically when things are just not like crazy busy and you may not feel so motivated to be reaching out to your customers, and you maybe get left on red more often, and you're not getting any comments or engagement on your posts on social media. Like, how do we stay motivated to keep doing that? Okay, so get my notes, some notes, not a lot, because I feel like this is a topic that both me and Alex feel very passionate about, because we know, and if you pay attention to the team page, you'll see that a lot of people's feedback is exactly that. If you stay consistent, you're going to see success in your business. And right now is like do or die for consistency. If you are not staying consistent right now in your business, come fall and winter, you're going to see that reflect in your business. So right now is the time to buckle down in these areas and make sure that you are staying front and center with your customers and staying consistent with them. I wish I had a little like tracker for how many times we say consistent tonight, or consistency. Okay, so I looked up, just for fun, because I'm a words person, I looked up the definition of consistent. I think this is a really important thing to know when we talk about it. Maybe somebody's like, I have no idea what consistent even means. I'm here to tell you, according to Webster's dictionary, consistent means unchanging. Well, there's like three definitions. We all know how the dictionary works, but this was the one that I felt like fit. Unchanging in nature, standard, or effect over time. Okay. So to me, when I say consistent and looking at this definition, what that means to me and what I hope that it would reflect to you is that as you, as the consultant to your customers and to your team, remain unchanged and constant in their life, they can count on you being present all the time. your team and your customers, but specifically we're talking about your customers right now. So that means that you're showing up all the time in their follow-ups, in social media, whatever that looks like for you, you are there front and center. Um, yeah, no, Mariah, we would die. Okay, so I feel like I went over this a little bit, but I had written down just briefly, just so you guys are clear, the reason that we stay consistent in our business and the reason that this is so uber important is not even in slow times, but because if you are going to grow a business, if your long-term goal for Scentsy, for your life, for your family is has anything to do with Scentsy being part of the way that you get there, then you have to know that you have to stay on course. And that means picking up your business, choosing to pick up your business every single day and showing up. You have to pick up your business and show up every day, or else the things that you want and the hopes and dreams of Scentsy getting you there is not going to come to fruition if you ghost your customers when it's slow, if you are not following up with them, if you're not talking to your teammates, if you're letting your social media fall off track, if you're, you know, just not doing the things that it takes to grow a healthy, sustainable business. And anybody in Scentsy of whatever title that you want to deem successful, whatever somebody has that you may want, whether it's $10,000 paychecks or, whatever, it does not matter. If you ask them how they got to where they are, I can guarantee you that part of their response would be because they stayed consistent. They stayed consistent. And that's not to say that like every once in a while people have hard times and maybe they fall off, right? Life happens. And I don't necessarily want to give the okay to that, but I also recognize that life does happen and life gets hard and we're all understanding of that. But the reality of it is that if you're going to commit to this idea and this dream and this vision of Scentsy being everything it can be for you and your family, then you have to commit to consistency. So again, like I said, we are going to tag team the two topics that we're going to battle out tonight as far as consistency goes. And I'm gonna start with the social media aspect. I love social media as it pertains to my business. Um, there have been multiple times in the last year that I have wanted to walk away from social media completely, but I love it. I love my business on social media so much that I am not willing to do that. So even when I don't like what's going on social media, I'm still showing up every single day for my customers and obviously for my team, but for my customers. And um, even now when it's getting a little bit slower and orders aren't popping off like they used to and things aren't crazy, I still have this it's like a I don't want to say it's like a job, but I still have this responsibility to my customers to make sure that they see my face, that they see my products, the things that I'm loving every single day on social media because people are still browsing on social media, Instagram stories, even Facebook, pictures on Facebook, things like that. People are still paying very close attention to that. And so I commit every day to putting my face, my products, my stuff on there because it matters to my customers and it matters to my business. I recognize that social media and the success of my business kind of go hand in hand. And that because that's where I started. I started on social media. I did a lot of home parties and things like that. I grew my business in other ways, and that's why I believe it's so strong. But social media has always been the thing that I've been able to count on. I've always been able to utilize social media. It didn't matter if it was a pandemic, didn't matter if my business was popping with home parties. Social media was always something that I can come back to, and my customers always know that they can find me there. And so when we're talking about staying consistent on social media, it's really important that if you choose to make your presence known as a Scentsy person on your Instagram, on Facebook, anything like that, that you make it a priority in your business to do that daily, to do it daily. Because the reality of it is people are watching, and we say this a lot. People are watching. People are watching you on Instagram, people are watching you on Facebook, people are watching what your journey is doing, and people are watching you for a multitude of different reasons. And you may never know the reasons, and it may not produce anything to some of these people. They may just be watching, but the reality of it is that the eyes on your business, a lot of them are going to turn into other stories that impact your business, whether it's sales, whether it's somebody being a host, whether it's somebody joining your team. All of those things could impact your business greatly. And if you choose to use social media as a vessel in which you move your business forward, then you have to make it a priority. And let me be very clear, social media can be a suck of time. Okay, technology can be a suck of time, and we can spend way too much time scrolling and browsing and picking fights with people and doing things that are not beneficial. But if you are going to use social media to the benefit of your business, then you must decide that what you are doing on social media is to the benefit of your business. Okay, I hope you heard that, because what I'm saying is not to be on social media to be scrolling and saying, hey, I'm working my business. Your scroll does not equal working your business. We're talking about productivity inside your business that transpires on social media. So for me, what I'm doing on social media on a daily basis is scheduling posts on Facebook. I am taking pictures all day long, almost every single day, and then I'm scheduling my post. Sometimes I do it in the early morning because I wake up at ungodly hours for some reason, and I'll do it in the early morning. And sometimes I do it at night. If my husband falls asleep fast or we're just hanging out, I'll do it at night. And I schedule my post for at least a day out. Okay. Depending on how many pictures and content I have in my brain, I at least schedule my posts so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. And that's Facebook. I usually pick the content that I'm going to post on my Instagram. My Instagram, for me personally, I have a Scentsy Instagram and I have a regular Instagram, and the reason behind that is nothing I'm going to get into tonight. But I spend most of my time on my Scentsy Instagram, and that's not to say that I only post Scentsy. I post about my kids and my family and my husband and my friends and all that on there, but majority of it is Scentsy. Okay, and so I usually pick the picture that I'm going to post that day, and I have now committed. I used to like do it like twice a week. No, I'm posting a picture or a reel, at least one every single day on my Instagram. Okay, I'm not trying to flood anybody's feed on Instagram, because I recognize that on Instagram, majority of people, what they're doing, scrolling your stories. Isn't that what you do? You scroll stories, tap, 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 tap. You're watching people's stories. You might scroll Instagram for a few minutes, but what you're doing is watching those stories. So that's where I spend majority of my time, is in my stories. Okay, so because my Facebook is taken care of, and I pick the time and the picture that I already want to post on Instagram, and I choose to do that when I think is the best time in the day, and then I spend majority of my focus, if I go on social media, on my Instagram. If I go to Facebook, I'm checking on my post. I'm checking to see who commented on what. Maybe I'll add another picture or something. Okay. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling Facebook anymore. Unless I want to connect with customers or teammates or whatever, but I don't spend a lot of time on my Facebook. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. And I think that if you think about it and you watch maybe for a couple of days your routine, you'll recognize that that's what majority of people are doing. What are you doing when you have downtime? Looking at TikTok, looking on Instagram stories, like all of that. Nothing wrong with that. But we have to be where our market is. And we have to be consistent with it, because the thing is that if you have a new customer on Instagram, I'm just going to spend some time here. If you have a new customer on Instagram and they add you, you may show up in their stories as the first two or three people, but as time goes on, you fall further and further back on their Instagram stories. So you're not the first things that they see. Okay. So my purpose for being so intentional and so like blah, 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 on my stories is because I want it to be a lot of content that will catch people's eyes when they do get to me if I'm further down on the line. And I also want a lot of different content on my stories or on my Facebook or on my Instagram feed so I can catch other people's attention. Okay? And this really isn't like a social media training, but I want you guys to recognize how useful social media can be. And my consistency in social media, and specifically like Instagram and Facebook, is literally still paying me back to this day today. Okay. I've been doing Box by Breeze for 2 years now. Okay. And I've been on Instagram for a very long time, been on Facebook. My entire Scentsy journey like started there. And I literally posted about my Box by Brie a couple of times on my stories today and got 3 new people to sign up for my Box by Brie today. People that have been on my Instagram, people that have liked my post before or have seen my stories. But I've stayed so consistent and not just sharing Scentsy, not just sharing what I love. That has stuff to do with it, but not just doing that, but also talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And that's the thing with social media, is that you have to be willing to be redundant. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean post the same picture a million times, but that means that every morning I make my bed and I spray it with fresh. Every morning people are going to see that. And people may think that's really redundant of her. Like, we see this every morning. But there's somebody who didn't see it 2 weeks ago, didn't see it yesterday, who now sees it this morning and says, oh, that's interesting. And then they see it again tomorrow and they go, I wonder what that stuff is. And then they see it 2 days from now and they go, hey Brie, what's that about? And then I tell them and they go, actually, I do want a bottle. Can you add that to your next order? And boom, they had to see it multiple times in order to be drawn in. If I would have just posted me spraying my bed down with Scentsy Fresh once, or if I would have just posted about my Box by Brie once, I wouldn't have gotten those customers. I wouldn't get the people engaged with my stories. And Instagram stories is a lot like Facebook, where if you're in a VIP or if you're just doing it on your Facebook or whatever, putting other content that is not Scentsy related is so important because it draws in your customers, potential hosts, whatever. It draws them in. And then if you stay super consistent, they'll start to see things that may interest them because all of a sudden you move up, and it's the algorithm thing, but you'll move up in their feed and then they start paying attention to you. The consistency in your social media, especially during this slow time. I mean, I don't want to be like, well, if you don't have a ton of orders coming in and if you're not packaging this stuff, then commit to making your social media a solid ground for your customers, for your hosts, for your potential recruits. Okay. And Alex is going to talk about systems, but trust when I say social media can be a system. Social media can be a system that you have to work at and that you have to perfect, and it's tricky because it's constantly changing and we have no control over it. Okay, we have no control over algorithms, we have no control over the new apps, like nothing. All we can control is what we do with it, right? And how we choose to educate ourselves with. And then the biggest thing that we control is how dedicated we are to staying consistent with it, right? You give yourself 3 months, 3 months to dedicate yourself to a system, to a process, to a social media app, to whatever you're trying. 3 months. If it's not working, then throw it out. Okay. But social media, you guys, this is going to be around for a long time. We may be using different platforms. And if you think Instagram stories is complicated, then you really need to challenge yourself. You really need to step into that and start exploring that, because every social media, even things that I'm not like super great at right now, like TikTok or Snapchat or whatever, those things, those aren't markets that I've tapped into, but I also recognize that I may not be reaching customers there. But I want to be so hyper focused on staying consistent in my VIP and my Instagram stories because it's providing results. And I don't get results 2 days after posting for the first time on my stories. That's not how results work. That's not how consistency works, right? Unchanging in nature, standard, or effect over time, right? over time. That it doesn't give any clarification about how much time, nothing like that. But there has to be time between what you've done, how often you're doing it, and then the result. Okay? So you have to commit yourself to providing content on these platforms, whatever platforms you're using. If Instagram isn't what you're using, fine. If Facebook is doing really great for you, maybe you need to get better at it. Maybe you need to be more consistent with it. Then show up there. Show up there. You have to be showing to your customers every day that you're still the Scentsy person. And at the bare minimum, you guys, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. If you ever have a customer who comes and asks you, "Hey, are you still doing Scentsy?" I'm sorry, but you're doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong. Okay? You should not have a customer come to you and ask you if you're still doing Scentsy. Okay? Showing up every single day and forcing yourself to step out of your comfort zone. If you're afraid to put your face to the camera, challenge yourself. People need to see your face. I scroll by hundreds of flyers and really pretty pictures and all this stuff. But when I see somebody's face who I like, who I want to get to know, who I love, who I trust, anything like that, I stop and I listen. If you're not putting your face to your customers, you're missing the mark. People are going to scroll right by, even on Instagram stories, even on TikTok, they're going to scroll right by those pretty flyers. They may even scroll by your pretty warmer. But if you put your kid in front of it, if you put your face to it, they may stop and listen. And you're going to have to do that all the time. Like, you're just going to have to do it all the time. You're going to have to take a picture of that warmer 10 different times and post it before you may get a sale, before you may get people asking about it. I literally opened up my Box by Breeze on the first of the month, and I've gotten at least maybe 10 of them within the last 3 days. Been posting about it, I've been following up with people about it. Like, I have to be consistently talking about the stuff, the things that I love, the things that I'm using on social media daily. And if you're running out of ideas on what to post on social media, if you're like, "Ah, I really want to be consistent, but man, I run out of ideas on what to post, and I just feel like I'm posting the same thing over and over and over again." Good, good. And the thing is, you guys, we have an entire catalog of things to be talking about. I don't care if you don't have a diffuser. Go find a real life picture of a diffuser, put it on your Facebook page, and tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you like about it. Why do you love it so much? Why are you working on trying to earn it or not earn it? Why are you working on trying to get it? Okay, I don't care if you don't have a pet. Talk about your mom who's got a dog. Okay, there an entire catalog of things. Not to mention LTOs and all this other stuff. But don't tell me that you don't have anything to talk about. And there is room for redundancy in terms of things that you really love, talk about a lot. Okay? You don't shy away from posting pictures of your babies because you posted a picture of them yesterday. No, you love your babies and you want people to see them and ooh and all over them, and you love them so much you want to share it with the world. Scentsy should be the same way. The things that you love in your business should be the things that you're sharing all the time. Wax, warmers, diffusers, Scentsy Fresh, counter clean, all the stuff that fragrance flowers. Mariah's really great at sharing fragrance flowers. I love it. She shares it all the time. Alex does really great with the Scentsy Fresh. Morgan does really great with the wax changing. Like, you guys, I see it all the time. Katie has stepped out of her comfort zone in a big way and has been doing like uh the Instagram, like not lives, but like putting her face to her Instagram. And it's like, the more that you do that, first of all, you get more comfortable with it. And second of all, you're giving people another connection with you to get to know you, right? If I'm spraying my bed every day with Scentsy Fresh, my customers, these people who maybe don't know me that well or whatever, are getting to know me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this girl must really love this Scentsy Fresh." If they never intend on buying from me, I don't care, but they know something about me. They know that I love Scentsy Fresh, and that's not a negative. There could be worse things that they know about me. There could be worse things that I could be posting on social media right now than me spraying my bed with Scentsy Fresh. Okay, so I'll take it. The things that you love, post about consistently, post about redundantly. I don't care if it's the same thing. Take a new picture, get a new Scentsy Fresh. It doesn't matter. Okay. But there should never be, if you're feeling stuck, that's okay. But open up the catalog. That's all you have to do. This is your inspiration right here. Open up your catalog, find the things that you like that catch your eye. And the truth of the matter is that you really should be talking about everything, whether it's something that catches your eye, that you love, that you like, that you want to try. If you don't have pets, if you don't care about pet, whatever, you should still be talking about it. Why? Because you may intrigue people who it does matter to, right? So your inspiration is literally right in front of you, but now you have to utilize it. And it's not enough to just get on social media once a week, to post one post, to do a couple of stories. Like, if you're going to commit to it, commit to it. I'm not trying to condemn anyone if time is an issue and you don't have time for a bajillion stories a day. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I typically have time for that. But if you don't have time for that because you can't be working your biz while you're at work, that's okay. But how are you being consistent, showing up for your customers every day? Is somebody going to come to you and ask you, are you still a Scentsy person? Social media is so important. And like we say all the time, what you are doing right now in this season, in the spring and summer, whether it feels slow, whether, and that's the other thing too, you guys, hold on. That's the other thing. If it feels slow to you right now, then there's more that you can be doing. There's more parties to be booked. There's more products to be talking about. There's more follow-ups to be had. Like, if it feels slow, trust. There's a part of that you're in control of. It is not until you have overturned every rock, you have made every follow-up, you have posted consistently, you have beat down every door with join conversations, booking party conversations. It is not until then that you can tell me it's a slow month. Okay? I know that we get in funks. I know that there's this like umbrella of slow season. And granted, we can take the time and put some energy into other things, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is the season for it, and Alex is going to talk about that. But if you are looking for high PRV during these months and you're wanting to overcome the slow stigma, then you need to be consistently showing up as it pertains to this in your social media. Okay. This is going to reflect in 6 months during our fall incentive. This is going to reflect in the fall when you're wanting to recruit to director. This is going to reflect in your business what you are doing right now. And no, let me just end this. I'll end this by saying social media is not everything. Okay? You can run a business without social media. So if anybody needs that permission, you have it. You can run your business without social media. But I believe that requires even more consistency. That requires you showing up tenfold for your customers. That means you have to be in their text inbox, you have to be calling them, you have to be emailing them, you have to be on it with your customers. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to do it there, make sure you're being consistent about it. But as it pertains to social media, do whatever it takes now to commit yourself to choosing social media to be consistent in. Okay. It is a lifeline in our culture, in our society right now. It just is. It is. It's what people are relying on for connection. It's what people are relying on for entertainment. It's what people are relying on for needs, shopping and stuff. People are shopping online. People are doing so much online. It is a lifeline for people. And if you are not the first person they see who's got this in their hand, they will find somebody else. They will find somebody else. They will go to Target, pick up, and get a counter clean. Okay. That's why you have to show up consistently. That's why you have to commit to social media and choosing that. Okay. And that's why I'm going to stop talking now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. Alex is going to come through with some goodness about follow up and other things. So, Alex, take it away.
Thanks, girl. I personally love hearing and talking about social media because it's true. It is just such a huge part of my business right now. Really, since I've joined, but especially since last year with the pandemic, like I know I'm speaking for a lot of you guys. Like we've seen our business completely grow all online. And so really diving into that, I think is so important. And so I hope that you guys hear what Brianna said and thought of some different ways that you guys can commit to being more consistent with social media, whether that be like, okay, I need to like really show up every day, or like now I'm going to try to post on my Instagram every day, or I'm going to try to bring in some like real life content that's not just Scentsy in my VIP group. There's so many different areas that you can choose to focus on, but consistency is key. So I hope that hearing her talk, you heard some different ideas and different ways that you can approach it if that's something that you are struggling with. But today I'm going to talk about two different topics. The first one is follow-ups, because I think especially in a season where things are starting to slow down or even out, or maybe we have an LTO and people aren't jumping on it like they did with the harvest or holiday collection, right? And so it kind of feels like a little bit slower. Maybe this time in November you had 1,500 PRV on the 9th of this month, and now you're sitting at 300, 500, 600, and you're like, dang, like this feels a little different. That was our whole idea for this chat. And I want to talk specifically about following up and the importance of that, especially in this season, because we have to remember that the connection is what our customers crave, right? They might not even know that they need connection with their Scentsy consultant. I don't feel like it's a very conscious thing that people are like, yeah, I need to feel connected with my Scentsy consultant. I need to feel connected with whoever I'm buying fragrance products from. I don't think it's that serious, but truly at the core, like we crave connection, and we have such an awesome business that we can provide such value and such connection with our audience and with our customers that it's really important to remember that that's our job. And sometimes we really have to dig deep and dive into that portion of it. And so that's where I want to talk about following up with your customers, right? It really strengthens those relationships and builds that trust, you guys. And when we are not following up for months and months at a time, it can hurt those relationships that we have with our customers. It can be the difference between our customers scrolling the aisles of Target and picking up a cute $15 warmer, or ordering that warmer that they see you post in your VIP group. The lack of connection can be that difference, okay? And so it's important to recognize, especially if you find yourself wondering, what more can I do? My answer to you would be have connection and talk with your customers and your audience, okay? On a business level and on a personal level, right? So something I've been doing lately, and I love having my AirPods because I wear them and it obviously syncs to my phone. And so there's the part about following up with your customers, but this is on the personal level. Sometimes if someone just pops in my head, I tell my phone, hey, Siri, text Jessica. And I'm just like, hey girl, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? Right? Just something so simple as that. I'm just washing my dishes, sent that text message, right? I'm building that relationship and that connection with my customer or my teammate or whoever it is, just to let them know quickly, like, hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you? Okay. And so I think it's just really important to remember that. And as well as on social media, right? Like, it takes half a second to comment something like, that's so cute. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Or like, we need to catch up sometime, or whatever it is, right? It takes half a second to type out a meaningful comment that's straight from your heart. We're not being disingenuous. These are serious feelings that we have, that sometimes we live in such a fast-paced world and we're busy and we have things going on that we forget how important that little comment can be. And so as you are trying to dive into your business, don't forget about that personal connection part of things, okay? And on a business side of things, you guys, now is the time that we are really following up with our customers. This is something that I have been trying to be very intentional with over the last 2 months. And I've personally started using my Amy app again. There was a while where I wasn't using it much. I have dived back into that app because it has everything right there, and I can log my samples, and it tells me so and so sent or placed an order, send them a thank you note, and I can do that right there, right? I can write the thank you note, get their address, get it all ready for them right there with that notification. And so same goes with logging, like free gifts that I send. I'll put in as a sample log, I'll put in, Mad for Melon Scent Circle, and that way I have specific items to be following up with them on. And I have been intentionally following up with my customers and tagging them as a join prospect, or tagging them as a hostess, or tagging them as someone who's in my Scentsy Club. That way I can have those real conversations. And truly with my Amy app, I don't even use the templates anymore. I just one by one, I just write out my message to them, whatever I feel is right to say at that moment. But I have been following up so very intentionally with my customers lately, asking them how they like their product, asking them what their favorite fragrance was in that 6-pack of bars, asking them if they have thought about hosting or joining. I have been following up super intentionally. And so if you feel like that is a gap that you need to bridge, this is me begging you to go do your follow-ups. Go spend 2 hours, because sometimes that's what it takes, okay? Go spend 2 hours and catch up on your follow-ups, okay? Like, go check in with your customers, ask them questions, offer them things, and start rebuilding any connections that you have kind of let go in the last 6 months with busy seasons. I'm sure we all can be better at following up. Well, okay, I'm speaking for myself. I can certainly be better at follow-ups. I know when things get really busy, I kind of let the busyness carry me. I kind of let the excitement of all the launches and my VIP group and the other systems I have going on carry me into now what is a slower season. And I'm like, okay, now I need to go bridge that gap and go connect with my customers, the new customers I met at parties. I need to go check in with them. I need to go follow up with any samples I've sent, any new people I've met on like local Facebook groups that I've dropped off catalogs and maybe I've dropped the ball there. I need to go circle back with them, whether that be connecting on Facebook, inviting them to my VIP group, asking them questions about the products that they have, seeing if they love the samples I sent them, whatever it is. Now is the time to be connecting with them, you guys, because it was super busy in the fall. Like, if you guys have been here for any amount of time, you know how busy it was. And there's a lot of people in your past business 6 months from now, 4 months, or 6 months ago, 4 months ago, that need new products. But remember, we want to make it easy for them. People will reorder with us because we make it easy and convenient for them. If they don't know how to order, if you're still a consultant, where to go to order, what your system looks like because they live right down the street, if they don't know these things, they're always going to default to convenience, which is adding a wax bar or a candle to their Instacart delivery, or swinging by at Walmart and picking up Windex or another cleaner. Okay, they're not going to default to going to find you, to message you, to get your link, to then go find it on your website. Okay, this is where it is so important that you make it easy for your customers to reorder with you guys. And so that's where following up bridges that gap 100%. Okay, and that's why I'm very strategic about the way I follow up. I feel like I've talked about this a million times, but I like to make it timely. I like to ask questions, and I like to offer something. Okay, so for example, like, hey, Susan, I wanted to check in to see how you're enjoying your Scentsy bars. Did you find a favorite from that 6-pack? I'm closing a local order this Friday. Let me know if you need to add anything on. I'm doing a spring cleaning box with tons of cleaning goodies for only $30 this month. Okay. I'm asking a question. I am making it timely with my local order closing Friday, and I'm offering them something. That's all in one message, and they are likely to reply with something, right? And a lot of the times they appreciate, I mean, I would say all the time, they appreciate you reaching out and checking on them and letting them know what's new, letting them know what's going on, even if they don't reply, okay? Because things get busy, people don't always reply. I don't always reply, but I do appreciate when people are checking in on products that I've spent money on. That means a lot to me because they don't get that anywhere else, okay? So you can be that person. You can be the one who really shows that you care and that you appreciate them. And so I want to really encourage you guys, especially if it's not something that you are doing on a consistent basis, now is the time to start following up. And yes, Jessica, my cat, I don't even know what to do anymore. I need to lock them up. So yeah, it's not always easy to find time to follow up, but I truly do believe it is a very important part in your business, especially if you feel like you're in a season where you feel stuck or you feel like you want more. Then I would really recommend that you dive into your follow-ups, okay? Because the ease of ordering is the most important thing for your customers. They want it to be easy. No one wants to have a super complicated time ordering Scentsy. And so you are the bridge that fills that gap, okay? So definitely, guys, dive into your follow-ups, whatever that looks like to you. And that brings me to my next topic that I want to talk to you guys about, and that is in this time of slower paced business. I don't like using the word slow because truly it is what you make of it, right? Like Bree said, if you're feeling like it's slow, there is more to be done, okay? So in this time where business seems more even, now is the time, the spring and summer is the time to develop and implement new systems, or develop your current system or implement new systems, okay? Things like figuring out what the heck you're gonna do for follow-ups. Oh gosh, I've tried a million things for follow-up systems. I've tried a binder method where I have like physical order forms. This was before the Amy app. And then the Amy app came and I tried that and then I didn't love it. And then I did a order log and then I wasn't keeping up with that. And then I kind of wasn't doing anything. And now I'm back to my Amy app and I really am loving it. It's something that can get overwhelming if you don't stay on top of it, which is why it's important to be consistent. But so my follow-up app, that's kind of really a system that I'm heavily working on right now to stay consistent in. Some other systems that you can be working on right now would be maybe you want to start monthly boxes. I think that's a really awesome system. It's a really fun way to get your customers trying new products. It's really fun for me. That's one of my favorite things I do every month is create my monthly boxes. There's lots of trainings on that. Okay, so I'm not going to really dive into that, but that's a really awesome system that you could be doing or start implementing or get better at or decide to pick back up on, okay? Onboarding new consultants, that's another system that you could kind of figure out, okay, when someone joins, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, right? That takes a lot of trial and error and practice, but it's very important because, I mean, ultimately, if you're trying to build a business, your goal is to be recruiting people on a consistent basis. And so you're going to want to know and feel sure of yourself when someone joins, this is what I do. And additionally, that helps you when you have your teammates recruiting. You can say, hey, when someone joins my team, this is what I do. So maybe you could try this or something similar, right? It helps create that duplicatable system that you can then go teach your team on. Okay, so I think all systems are important, but specifically onboarding is very important. I feel like it kind of gets looked over and we just get so excited when we recruit someone that it looks a little bit different for everyone. And that's very true. Recruiting and onboarding does look different for everyone, but in general, I think it's very important that you have a broad idea of what you do when someone joins, okay? As well as maybe you can create or develop your system for join conversations, join packets, and lead tracking, like people you've talked to about joining, people you've mentioned it to, hostesses that decided not to join. What is a way that you can track that? That would be a really great system to implement. Whether for me, it's just a list in my binder. Okay, I just write their name and any notes next to it and the day that we talked. Okay, and then any follow-up days that we talk. So for me, it's a super simple system. Some people are Excel spreadsheet people. Some people, I mean, you can log it in your Amy app, which I think is awesome, but that would be a really great system to kind of dive into right now. You could start coaching calls or sign up for coaching calls, right? You could start them or do them or both. That's a really great system. You can say every month when my director, star director, superstar director sends out that coaching call link, I'm going to sign up for a coaching call that day. And also for my team, I'm going to start offering coaching calls. That's a really, really wonderful system to like hold yourself accountable to. Emails is a really fun one that I'm also working on right now. It's a new system that I am kind of developing. So right now I'm working on two. I'm working on my Amy app, getting like really solid in that, and then sending weekly emails to my customers. And I do this from the communication tab, or no, the contacts tab. I filter it by my most recently purchased customers, and I send an email to like my 250 most recent purchasing customers. And I'm going to try to do it once a week with just promotions, personal specials, just a thank you note. It will change every week, but that's definitely something that I want to get better at, because I want to do well on social media and also off social media. And so I feel like I do pretty well on social media. So now I'm working on the Amy app so I can have those one-on-one communications in my email conversation. That way it's into a whole nother place, right? Their inbox that reaches a whole nother group of people. And so these are some systems that me personally, I thought of right off the top of my head that you could be implementing, but it can be things like delivery days. You can start saying, okay, I'm just going to do deliveries on Wednesdays now, or closing your local orders on a certain day every week or every other week. That's a great system to get into. Or posting a picture on Instagram every single day, or writing down all your business tasks and creating daily, weekly, monthly, like business plans, whatever that looks like to you, however you feel like maybe you're flying by the seat of your pants a little bit in your business. What is a system that you could create right now that could help you with that? Okay. And so I think that it's super important that you think about that and maybe use this time where things are a little more steady. I'm not saying slow, because hopefully you're still getting those orders, you're still having those parties, you're still having the joint conversations, you're still sharing what you're doing, you're sharing what's new, all of that awesome stuff. Hopefully you're still collecting steady orders, but maybe it's not as busy as it was in the fall and winter. And that's okay. That's very normal, but we need to use the downtime where everything's not go, go, go all the time to be bettering our business instead of just sitting on the couch watching Netflix. Okay. Like, oh, I don't have an order coming in today, which I normally would have an order coming in 3 times a week in the fall, right? So I'm not going to work my business today. That is not the best business move that you can make. Sure, maybe once a week, it's fine to, give yourself some grace and relax a little bit. But when you find yourself opting to do those things more than you're finding your free time working your business, then there is a gap that needs to be bridged. Okay. And whether that be more active on social media, do your makeup, do your hair, throw on a cute shirt, put your face in front of your stories, or spend, instead of 30 minutes watching a show on Netflix, spend 30 minutes in your Amy app doing some follow-ups, or spend 30 minutes coming up with an email to send your customers, or whatever that looks like to you guys. But there are things to be done in your business in moments that are slow. You just have to have the work ethic and hold yourself accountable for what you need to be doing. Okay. And we're here, guys. Like, we love to see you guys working. We love to see all the new ideas. We do coaching calls. We are text and messages away. Like, if you need an accountability partner or something, but just know it ultimately relies on you. Like, you have to show up for your business and do these things. Okay. So that is my, my tips for you guys. My topics are follow-up and systems, but I did want to do a little bit of housekeeping, meaning kind of going over some stuff that's happening. And I can't like read and talk at the same time, so I will go to the chat in just a second. But I want to mention, you guys, if you have not checked, we are in a new incentive period. I'm so stoked for this incentive, you guys. It's almost identical to last year's Grow with the Flow incentive. But if you're new, you guys, this is brand new, super exciting, awesome stuff here. It's a 4-month-long incentive. Ultimately, your goal is to sponsor 3 people, get them to certified, and sell what is it, Bree? 3,000 PRV, and you earn level 3. You are earning 3,000 points for the next incentive. You are earning new shoes or luggage. You're earning all the new bars for the fall catalog. You're earning a new season homes kit, which is a bunch of warmers. You're earning product credit. You are earning so much stuff, and that's level 3. There's still level 2 and 1 with other tiers, but you guys, this incentive, 3,500, got it. This incentive is so obtainable. You guys can totally do this. If you are showing up for your business, like you're showing up on a Tuesday evening to invest in training, then you guys can earn this incentive, okay? So just like pull up your pants, put your head down. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing and feeling like you need to do that too. Just focus on what you know you need to do, and you got this. Like, you guys freaking got this, okay? I also want to mention the next call is on the 23rd, same time. We're going to be talking about this awesome program. Oh, I'm so stoked for this. If you are a director and above, you already know what's happening in April, but we are doing a Dash to Director program. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's a 9-week program. It's intense. I'm not going to lie. You guys. It's going to push you outside of your comfort zone. It has mandatory homework. It is intense, but it is designed to seriously help you grow your business. The ultimate goal is to give you the tools you need to be well on your way to director, especially come the fall season. You guys, we're talking recruiting people, PRV, parties, social media, stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's intensely awesome. And it starts on April 1st, 9-week program. It goes into June, I believe, or the very end of May. And you guys, it's going to be awesome. I hope to see all of you guys opting in. It's going to be in like a whole new group, 9 weeks, pretty intense homework, all the things, but your business is absolutely going to grow from this. And so I'm so stoked for it. There will be more information, like I said, on the 23rd. Bree and I will kind of go over what exactly it will look like, maybe even week from week, like an outline, so you can kind of get prepped for that. But it does start April 1st and we're diving in. So that's what our next call is going to be. Okay. So Bree, did I miss anything? I'm going to go read the chat, but let me know if I missed anything. No.
I don't think so. I think you hit everything. Yeah.
Sweet. So do you guys have any questions? Otherwise, I mean, hey, I love you guys. This was an awesome chat. Consistency is like my favorite thing. So yes.
Next time we should definitely do a
drinking game.
Yeah. Only like with water, because we will die.
Yeah, we'll die. Seriously. Yes.